What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a magic review on Sneak Peek by Thomas Moloney and Genuine Magic. Welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss a review. And if you want to give additional support to the channel, I will leave my Buy Me a Coffee link and my PayPal in the description, but don't feel obligated. So, the review. Sneak Peek by Thomas Moloney. So Thomas Moloney is a really nice guy. You've probably interacted with him at some point before in some of the magic groups on Facebook. He runs a few of the magic groups and he participates in a lot of them. So a lot of good things to say. He always has advice or kind of updates on certain things that he's doing or coming out with. And then recently he has just come out with his new company, Genuine Magic. He creates props for mentalism and magic, all made out of real leather, very, very high quality. I think that he's coming out with a vegan leather version of Sneak Peek, the Caleb Wade edition. So I think that's the only thing as of right now that isn't actual leather. But today we're reviewing Sneak Peek, which is a peak wallet or peak case or business card holder, whatever you want it to be. I also mentioned that as of today, there was an announcement on Facebook that this is also available in black now. So, what is Sneak Peek? Sneak Peek is a peak wallet. Now, the peak is SUC style, right? So just think of SUC, but vertical. So you probably know how that works. You're probably familiar with it. But basically, here is a close-up of the wallet. So right now, I have 20 business cards in there that fit comfortably. You can fit more. I don't want to make it too bulky. But really, really nice leather. I also love how the leather forms around the cards. And when you take them out, that pocket still stays like that. So once it's kind of stretched and broken in, you're going to have that nice crease. Things go in and out really easily. And then the stitching is all super, super well done. These are all handmade, hand stitched, a nice thick stitching, so you never have to worry about anything coming apart with this. And the leather is, you can't really see here, it's hard to focus, but it's thick. Like, it's a thick leather, which is great because once you purchase this once, you're never going to have to buy another one of these. It's not going to wear out. I can almost guarantee that. All right, so let's talk a bit more about the peak. So what I've done, just as kind of an added convincer for me, is on the back, I have taken a business card and I have cut out a section of it, double stick tape the top, double stick tape the bottom. Not necessary. If you like the look, go ahead and do it. If you don't do it. The back is just plain leather. It looks really good. I think I'm going to keep it like this just because for me, it kind of gives some reason to this strap looking piece, right? So, but then you also have this little tag, made in the UK. Now, Tom was wondering what my opinion of that might be. And I think it's awesome, right? I know not everybody's from the UK, but it was made in the UK. Why not represent that, right? I have no issue with it. I actually quite like it. You have one working pocket. So just the one working pocket with this, but it is a big pocket. Like I said, I have 20 business cards in here right now. I had more in there to stretch it. I think I had just about 30, and you probably could get 30 in this, but then it's going to get bulky, right? Like right now, I like the thickness of this. I don't want it to be much bigger. And also with 20, I can still slide, my participant's card in and out very easily without hesitation. So you have, yes, the one working pocket. Now this can hold playing cards. This can hold credit cards. It is a wider pocket. So even though I have business cards in here, you can see that there's still about a ½ inch on each side, right? But the thinner the card, so a business card, the more you're going to be able to put in here, because you just have that extra room. So I'll take some cards out here. Actually, I'll take them all out. So that's kind of what it looks like now without the cards in. You have a nice opening. And then Tom will also provide you with one of Steve Dela's plastic night flight cards. Now I think Steve provided Tom with those, and Tom's providing you with these. Basically, in the tutorial, Tom just says, I'm sending you a card so you don't have to ruin your own, because you do have to do something to that card. So how this will work, you will have your business cards in here, or whatever, billets, blank playing cards, whatever, right? Take one out, the participant will write on it. So, well, I don't even need to bother, and then it will go into the top compartment face down. And once it's in there, like right now, I have pretty much a full peak. Just by putting it in there, you're seeing 90% of the surface. If you know how the SUC works, you're able to do something while it's in there so that you can get 100% coverage if you need to. The other great thing about this is that now the wallet has it's quite firm, even after it's broken in. Like there's give to it, but it's nice and it's a hard surface, I guess, for lack of a better term. So once something's in there, if you're using this as a peek, you can also use this for a secret writer, right? Because you have a good surface, you can be explaining something, you can do the dirty work, right, covered by the wallet, and then you can simply say, I had this in my wallet, this is kind of a prediction, pull it out. So that would look something like this. Right now, you're talking with your participant, you're doing the dirty work, and then you say, actually, I have this prediction in my wallet, and when you pull it out, you can show that it has that word or that number or whatever on it. So more than just a peek wallet, and that's what's nice about the SUC feature, is it's not just limited to the peek, because the back isn't obscured by anything like a plastic film as you would see in most peek wallets. That is what this is. So what do you get? Well, first off, you'll get the wallet itself. You're going to get a plastic night flight playing card. I think you also get one of these, which is just like a plastic credit card convincer, right? You might want to put your own in there, but nice touch, just because. Then you'll get the tutorial. I watched it this morning. It's roughly... Oh, by the way, I should mention, I've been using this. I've had it for about a week now. So I've been using it. I broke it in. I didn't really even bother with the tutorial because I was just using it. I understand how it works already. But for review purposes, I watched the tutorial this morning. Now it's, I think, 15 or 17 minutes long. So Tom goes over everything. He talks about what you get. He tells you how to set this up, and then gives you two different peek methods, and also gives you a really good routine. The routine that he provides it's a drawing duplication with a thought of word and also a prediction in there, the way that he goes about it. So you're kind of getting three effects into one routine, and I think a lot of the value in the tutorial is just Tom going over how he reveals his words or images, right? He has some really, really good subtleties and nuances that I think really make the whole process a lot more powerful than just simply, revealing the word. Not that that's what you do, but I mean, Tom does some things that I hadn't previously done that I will incorporate now into my revelations and the way that I go about presenting. So thank you for that, Tom. That was awesome. Okay, so I've kind of touched on the quality already. Now, I don't know the exact details of this leather, but it is definitely genuine leather. It's thick. It's probably, I don't know, it's over 1 millimeter thick, which I know doesn't sound very thick, but when you look at it, like, this is thicker cut than a lot of the leather wallets that I have, and I do that because some of them don't feel like leather. This, there's no questioning. So the leather quality is extremely good. The stitching is extremely good. This is definitely a thicker type of thread. It's not even really a thread. It's actually braided It's almost like a lace. So I doubt you're going to be able to see that on camera. You can see it best from the back, so I'll try to get that in there. Let's see if I tap the screen on my phone, if it'll... But you can kind of see. So yeah, it's like a braided thread. This part's probably going to be really loud because I'm up close. Anyway, I wanted to get that in there because he definitely didn't cut corners on the quality. Not with the leather, not with the stitching. This thing's never going to come apart. I'm positive of that. So probably of the highest quality I've ever seen. Tom's really thought about the dimensions, so you have options on different types of, different sizes of business cards, billets, or whatever you want to use, playing cards. With that, being able to store playing cards, you can also throw like a packet trick or another effect behind your business cards because, like I said, even with 20 cards in here, I still got room. And this can still stretch more than that. So if you want to throw in like maybe a will to read prediction in there, or Cracker Cards by Steve Dalla. I think there's 4 cards in that. I use that quite a bit, and that'll fit in here. So, if you want to throw some other routines in here, you can. It's not going to affect the functionality of this wallet. And then, like I said, it's all hand stitched. So, he doesn't likely have a ton in stock, but he can definitely get you one if you make the order. So yeah, quality is, I think, as good as it gets. Difficulty level. So this, actually, normally with something like this, since it's a prop or a tool, even though it provides routines, it's not a routine that you're learning necessarily. I do want to touch on difficulty because a lot of SUC style wallets I struggle with. I either end up going into a pocket above, or I end up getting the card hung up on the edge, the ledge, whatever you want to call it, right? Whereas with this, I had no issue from the beginning. Even when it wasn't broken in, the card goes in and out exactly where it's supposed to, super easily. So it's not getting hung up at all, which is awesome. That's exactly what I want in an SUC. So as far as difficulty goes, this is the easiest and best SUC that I've come across to use. Angles. So there are angle restrictions with this, as with any SUC. Once you put your participant's card in face down, right now you're getting your full peak, right? Which means everybody behind you is too. So you're going to have to watch your angles, right? You don't want anybody behind you. There are ways around that, so you can keep it close to your body. The way that I usually use an SUC or like a jack style wallet is when I'm wearing a suit jacket, so that as I'm putting the wallet away into my pocket, I can get my peak perfectly, right? Another way around angles is putting it in the inside, so inside breast coat pocket. So you have coverage. If you're opening your jacket and putting it in, you can angle it. I'm trying to see how I guess I'll just kind of show you because I don't know how to describe it. So if you're opening your coat, you're covered from that angle. If you angle this inward, you can still see, whereas they won't be able to on this side, they won't be able to on this side, and it's close enough to your body where you're pretty much covered, surrounded. So even though there are angle restrictions with this, you can get away from that with a jacket, but a jacket isn't necessary to use this, right? Even if you want to take it and put it into your jacket into your pants pocket, right? You look down as you're putting it in, you get your peak, and you're pretty much covering all of your angles there too. So, we do have to cover angles, but I think that there are definitely ways around the angle. I'm not even going to say issues because that's the case with any SUC and a lot of peak wallets as well in general. Setup and reset, arts and crafts. I mean, there's very, very quick arts and crafts to set this up because if you want to use that top pocket, right, there's no sense leaving it blank. This having a card in there is another added convincer. And I know Tom also has one of his credit cards in there so that it's like, just kind of a double convincer. So I think you are going to want to do this setup. As far as arts and crafts, I wouldn't even consider that. And then setup and reset. Reset is instant. And then setup, you're just going to want to set up your wallet, right? Make sure that you're smooth with it going in and out. If you want it to be bigger or hold more, you're going to have to stretch the leather a bit. So I guess we can consider that setup, but overall, like, it's ready to go right out of the box. Can it be examined? You know, I don't see any reason for somebody examining this, and I say that all the time with wallets. Like, that's kind of a breach of personal privacy and personal space. But regardless, some bigger wallets where there's a lot to them, I can possibly see people maybe wanting to say, hey, let me see your wallet. Not that I think it's right, but can kind of understand that. But whereas with this, like, it's so, there's nothing to it, right? Like, it's just hold some cards, right? So I can't see them thinking anything is even up with the wallet. And I mean, if you're doing things well, they're not really gonna think anything of the wallet. So, get your peek, put the wallet away, leave it out of play. Have a strong enough presentation with some time misdirection so that, it's not just like it's going in the wallet's going away, and you're revealing, right? Have some time misdirection in there. Give them enough time to remember that there was even a wallet or that they even wrote anything down. Pocket space. So, being a wallet, this one doesn't take up much space at all. It's thin. Front pants pocket, back pocket, jacket. It doesn't take up much space. It'll fit in any pocket you have and still leave you room. With my shorts that I wear, my everyday shorts, I just usually throw this in the side cargo pocket along with a deck of cards, and you wouldn't even notice that this thing's there. So hardly any pocket space. And I guess, like, if we want some comparison to pocket space, just think of like the length and width of a deck of cards. But as far as that goes, it's thin. And the less you put in, so maybe you don't want to hold 20 cards in there, maybe you want to hold 10, it's going to be less thick. That's terrible wording, but you get what I mean. Is it a worker, and who would use this? So this is definitely designed towards the mentalist, right? This is a peak wallet. Peak is the only function. Well, I shouldn't say that. Also, it can be used for secret writing, pocket writing, or nail writing, right? So again, though, mentalism, right? So who would use this? Mentalists. Is this a worker? I think this is definitely a worker, especially for me in my working situations, because if I'm not doing a gig for kids, if it's adults, I'm always dressed up with a suit jacket, or at least a dress shirt with a breast coat pocket, which for me is when I always will use SUCs or Jack's wallets, because it's perfect, right? Perfect motivation, perfect peak, perfect. Like, it's just the best for the situation. So all my working gigs that aren't for kids, this is what I'm going to use now. So finally, what is the price, and is it worth your money? Okay, so at first I thought that this was a ton of money, and it's because it is for me. And fortunately, Tom was very generous and sent me this for a review copy, as well as some other things I'm going to review here soon, like the lunch pad and flip. So check those out soon. But anyway, when I go on Tom's website, genuinemagic.co.uk, I have it set up so that it converts the price into Canadian funds, because I am Canadian. Tom's from the UK, so the prices are in pounds, right? I think this is something like 50 or 55 pounds. I'm not 100% sure, but I was watching Gareth's video. So if you haven't seen that, check out Gareth Woody, Mentalist on a Shoestring. Check out his channel. A lot of really good reviews. But I was watching his review a while ago, and I think he said it was around 50, 55 pounds or something, right? Now, when you convert that to US, I think that it's more like 70. And then for me, seeing it in Canadian, it was 95 or 100 or something like that, because the Canadian dollar sucks. So at first I thought that this was a lot more than it actually is, just because of where I'm from. So if you're from the UK, I think expect around 55 pounds. The United States, around 70. And if you're from Canada, it's a lot. I know a lot of the viewers here are from the States. So and the UK. So anyway, when you consider the price, is it worth the money? Well, consider other peak wallets, right? If you're getting a peak wallet, they generally run in that $60 to $100 range, right? So this is kind of in the middle of that. Yes, it's very simple, very minimalistic. It has the one peak, but it has multiple features that you can do with that. And is this worth the money? I'm going to say yes. Yes, I know I didn't pay for it, but I have a lot of other peak wallets, some that I paid more for, some that I paid less for. So I do feel like I'm still able to talk on that without somebody saying, oh, well, you didn't pay for it. Well, I paid for a lot of my stuff, and if you see my last Facebook post, you know that, because I thought I had a lot more money than I did in 2022. Anyway, when you factor in the quality of this, the nice thick leather, the very, very thick, durable stitching, that this is all handmade, so the quality control is 100%, and that this thing functions more smooth than any SUC that I've ever used, I'm going to say that it's worth the price point, because you will buy this, you will use it effortlessly, and it will last you forever. So, at first it might seem like, I'm spending a fair bit of money, but ultimately, as long as this is something you're going to use, and you know how an SUC works. And if you don't, I'm not going to expose it on the channel, but search it. There's so many out there that, yeah. I think if you're going to buy something that's a decent amount of money, you should be able to look up how it works, right? Or message Tom, right? I'm sure he will talk with you in more detail about it. But anyway, I think this is worth the price. I think that this is awesome. The quality alone, I think, explains it for me. All right, so positives, negatives. A negative is hard to find with this one, because usually when it comes to an SUC or something that where it checks all the boxes for me for functioning as it's supposed to, like usually my negative with an SUC is that the card gets hung up for me, and I struggle a little bit to, but this is super smooth. So yeah, like I don't think I could find a negative if I wanted to with this. I guess some people might feel like the price is high, but again, like I explained, handmade, hand stitched, quality materials. So if I had purchased this, I would be happy with it, and I can say that honestly and truthfully. I would say otherwise if I felt otherwise, but no, I feel really good about this. And yeah, I don't know. I think that I've covered all the bases with this. Holy, this is getting to be a long review. Anyway, I better wrap this up. So thanks for checking this out. Comment with any questions. I'll leave a link in the description below. And with that, we'll see you at the next review.